Good morning, physical science and biology. We are back here in Mr. Frady's science class, and we are looking at our skulls again. Today we have Skully and a little friend here, a little amphibian. And what we're going to be doing is part number 4 on your quest worksheet, which is right here. There's your quest worksheet. It says start an action plan and collect data. So you're going to end up doing an experiment when you're wanting to test your hypothesis, and that's the next step in the scientific method. So let's go back and take a look at our hypothesis. So the hypothesis that we wrote yesterday was that this animal, the animal, is a mammal. So when a scientist proposes a hypothesis, it's got to be testable. So the way that we can test in the classroom is there's two different ways you can do it. You can do an experiment, which let's hope that you guys can see that. I don't know what's going on with my camera. We're gonna have to maybe just adjust me. Do an experiment, and or you can do this thing that's highlighted in orange called a literature review. So an experiment, when you do an experiment, you are testing your hypothesis. So the experiment we're going to do today is we are trying to compare the two skulls, and we have a known amphibian skull right here. You can see a little frog, and here's the skull of an amphibian. So let's see, what view do we like the best so you can really see it well. Let me move this guy around. Let's see. It's really hard to figure out. Yeah, we can't see it very well that way. There you go, right there. Okay, so the skull of the amphibian is right here. All right, and amphibians typically have a really small brain, and their brains are enclosed in this little tiny white section you're seeing right here called the cranium. And it's essentially known as the brain case. So all amphibians have small craniums that are enclosing their smaller, less developed brain. Let's take a look at the next skull that we have, the one that we've been using for our study, one I've been calling Skully. And Skully, let's take a look at this animal's cranium. So this animal's cranium is right here. It's huge. There's also part of the cranium, and then you can even see right here, that is where the spinal cord would insert and the brain would be inside there. So you can see that this animal has a really large brain, and it would be inside this really thick, large brain case. And so just knowing that one piece of information about amphibians and mammals, mammals have really large and well-developed brains. So our experiment was that we compared a frog skull, this guy here, the frog skull, with the unknown skull, and they do not look similar at all. And this one has a really large cranium, which is representative of mammals, and this one has a really small cranium, which is representative of amphibians. So basically what we're going to say is that we're thinking that this animal here is probably a mammal and not an amphibian. So you have to go through and fill out your worksheet. So it says describe your experiment in detail. So basically we compared the unknown skull with a known amphibian skull. And then I ask you, what do you need to measure? So we just did comparison and cranium sizes. We really didn't take a numerical measure, but we could have. How long will it take? Probably took us like, 2-3 minutes. I put down 4 minutes there. The tools that we needed, we used 2 skulls. We used our eyes and other senses to help us measure. How many helpers? Well, today we had 0, but maybe in some other lab you might need more than 1 helper. And additional information to help us understand the procedures of your experiment. We use a known amphibian skull for the comparison. So we used a skull that we definitely knew was an amphibian, and we compared it with the unknown skull. We still don't know what the large skull is, but we're really pretty sure it could be a mammal. Then let's say you chose a literature review, which is what's highlighted up here. When a scientist does a literature review, they actually go to a library where they actually go online and look and see what other scientists have done on this topic. And they take the results from those experiments and use them to support the hypothesis that they have proposed. So if you were doing a literature review for this one, you'd Google images of amphibian skulls and mammal skulls. And you might take them and put them into, like I kind of drew a picture here, a Google Doc, and make maybe like 2 columns, and where you'd be able to show like, we're looking at the cranium size, so you'd be like, look at this cranium, look at this cranium, look at this cranium, all the mammals in one column and all the amphibians in the other, and you would be able to kind of look at those pictures and determine that which animal you thought was definitely a mammal and see if that would support your hypothesis or disprove it. So tools that you could use, you have to fill out this little sheet. It says, what can you use to organize your findings, record and organize your findings? So you could do, let me set up this way so I can see it. You could do Google Doc or Google Slide, and I just drew a picture of Google Doc with a column like I was talking about. It says, what specific information do you need to record? So we need to record that what amphibian skulls look like versus mammal skulls. And when you're looking through your data, what are you actually looking for and how you analyze it? So we're going to look for similarities or unique findings. And the unique finding that we noticed during our experiment, and that you would probably notice if you did a literature review, was again that amphibians have this little tiny brain case. Okay, and I'm going to point it out again. Amphibians have this little tiny brain case. And they have tinier brains than mammals, and mammals have like a really large brain case that's thick. You could even turn over again and look at the hole where the brain would fit. It's large, very, very large. So that would be one of our unique findings. That's all you have to do for number 4 in your quest inquiry. So if you have any additional questions, just let me know. You can, of course, text, email, or put it right in the comments with this homework. You guys have a great day, and I'll be posting a video for number 5 tomorrow. Thanks. Bye. Enjoy your day.